Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and it's a little bit blustery today, so I'm hoping you can hear me okay. Now this is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre EX manual car. This car's covered 81,000 miles or just above, and it's in very, very nice condition. These are obviously top of the range car, so very highly specified. Front of the car, lovely and clean. Lights and lenses are clear and intact without any cracks or condensation in them. Bonnet itself, hardly see a stone chip anywhere on that at all. It's really, really nice. Near side of the car, again, very, very good. Inside front alloy, one takes all of the bashing, it shows virtually nothing at all there. And the panel works very clean indeed. There will always be, I always say in the videos, there'll always be the odd little mark that the camera doesn't pick up on, the odd blemish. But generally, I'm trying to pick up on anything obvious, but it looks very, very nice indeed. Bumper corners, again, very clean. Goes all around the back of the car, going to the offside, the driver's side. And lovely and smooth in the panels down there. No obvious indentations that jump out at me. Offside rear alloy, generally good, just one mark and one spoke that I can see that is immediately clear. And the remaining panels, very, very good indeed. And final alloy, very, very nice. So externally, the car's in really, really good condition. Coming to the boot area now, absolutely cavernous boots. And unlike most CR-Vs, which have been very heavily used, this one's been treated rather gently. Let's come into the back of the car, wide opening rear doors and enormous amounts of leg room. And bear in mind, those front seats are set for me. I'm just over 6 foot tall, so not cheating. Leatherwork again in the back for a car this age or mileage. For the use they generally have, it's been kept beautifully, really. Coming to the front, passenger side. Again, all very, very nice indeed. So finally in on the driver's side, again, door card very, very clean. Apologise for the shadows, try and get out of my way. So driver's seat, very good. For a 10-year-old car, you've got the natural compression where people sit in and out, but it's exactly what it's normally expect to see on this age of mileage. So inside the car now, as always, the engine's running through this section, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. It's in lovely condition there. Sat nav, you can see working exactly as it should. Put the car into reverse. Get that lovely clear gridded parking camera, all working exactly as intended. Come up to the main dash binnacle, hopefully you can see. So there's 81,419 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre EX petrol manual. This particular car is registered RK63YBX and with a mileage of 81,412 recorded. The reason we do all of our videos, as I always say, especially this road test section, is to ensure that if anyone's looking at any of our cars online, they actually get to see the car advertised in operation. The reason we feel it's important is very simple. Like far too many people, we've been to see cars which look absolutely fine in photographs and description, but only to get there and find out there's a fundamental issue that shows up whilst driving the car. So hence that's why we do it. We also do it on these very quiet country roads very close to our premises, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on. And the theory being, hopefully it'll then be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, clearly very well looked after vehicle. Push button start on the top of the range cars, starts absolutely instantly. It's also smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge is running as a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle, and it's been running for quite some time now. The engines are brilliant petrol engines. Always say it, and I mean it. Honda build the best 4-cylinder engines in the world, and for a variety of reasons, not just the obvious, and that's reliability, because they are incredibly reliable and long-lasting with just normal servicing. But it's also the way they drive. It's just a smooth, civilised, flexible engine that pulls from low revs, goes all the way around to the red line, willingly, with a kind of mechanical sophistication that is utterly lacking in most of their competitors. It's a lovely unit, it really is, and very economical. In longer trips, you can be over 40 to the gallon. I average pretty much exactly what whoever's had this has been averaging, 35 to the gallon, which for a car of its size and type is actually really very good indeed. They are cam chain driven. There's no cam belts to worry about on these at all, so no monster service looming on them. Engine then feeds through into the clutch and gearbox on the car. Clutch on the car absolutely perfect, bite point exactly where it's meant to be, and it's lovely and smooth in operation. The gearbox is typical Honda, absolutely brilliantly done. The temptation with all manufacturers, because pretty much all essentially front wheel drive cars, because this is what it is predominantly, with transverse engines, the gearbox and the gear lever are joined by a cable, and that can quite often lead to a really lifeless, vague, horrible to use gearbox. In fact, I just hate them. Honda makes sure that all its major controls, in fact all its controls, are satisfying to feel, tactile. They should feel substantial, engineered. It should make you feel that you're in something a little bit better than most, and the gear change is a classic example of that. It is superb. First and foremost, the gear change or gear lever is mounted in a really lovely position. It's high up on the dash. There's no kind of down here. It's up here, so your hand falls straight onto it. The actual gear change quality feels mechanical. It feels like it's going into a gearbox directly, but it's not. So good is the actual quality of gear change. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and that feels exactly like it would have done when it was new, by the way. Steering on the car, again, it's just so car-like. So it's quick, it's responsive, or relatively. It's not a sports car, so I don't even think it is. But for a car of its type, it's much better than most. It's got a real precision to the steering. It's also nicely weighted, so it makes the car feel very secure and solid on the road. It's very confidence-inspiring in that way. It also tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. Chassis of the vehicle, there's a horrible bump just about to come up now. And what I'm listening out for in particular is kind of any sort of knocks or rattles coming from underneath the car that shouldn't be there, and there's absolutely nothing at all. The whole car drives as tight as a drum, it really does. But the suspension setup's brilliant, because ultimately it's massively compromised. It's trying to deliver comfort for its occupants, but also fighting against the fact that it's taller. There are all sorts of things going against it, but what it achieves is really brilliant, because Honda should know this market well. The CR-V's been the best-selling SUV in the world for quite some time, and it's quite easy to see why, because what it gives you is a very compliant, very well-damped ride, but one that allows really good body control through the corners. You don't get that kind of lurching that you get with so many of its competitors, which can be really disconcerting and very unsettling for rear seat passengers, because comfort is a very subjective thing. I've been in some cars where initially you get in and think, wow, they're so smooth and comfortable and pillowy to drive, but then as soon as you show them a corner, they're kind of there's lots of motion and movement going on. It's to say, it can be very, very unsettling indeed. I'm going to give the brakes a good old shove, just get up to a sort of decent speed. Let's give it a good old shove. Really good brake pedal on the car. What I'm looking for in particular actually is just when you first hit the brakes, there's any kind of rumbling or vibration coming back through the brake pedal, and there's absolutely nothing at all. It's spot on. So finally, coming inside the car, again, very nice condition in here. One thing that video and pictures can never get across is build quality, because when you drive these things, drive some cars, like this one, sort of best part of 10 years old and 80 odd thousand miles, and some of its competitors can feel very kind of rattly inside and very heavily worn. There's not a squeak or a rattle from the interior, which is common on these. They are beautifully put together cars, but they're not showy about it. You know, it's subtly done. But it's just also a lovely place to sit and drive a car, because you've got fantastic visibility all around in the vehicle. It really is very good indeed. There's massive wing mirrors to help you, you know, when you're lane changing on the motorway, that kind of thing. It's just it's very confidence inspiring to get into the car this size. It doesn't feel or drive as big as it is. The dashboard itself is very highly equipped, but one that actually after a day or two's driving becomes second nature very quickly indeed, in contrast to far too many dashboards, I must say. Sat nav, you can see, working absolutely perfectly. Dual zone climate control underneath it here, so you can have different temperatures side to side if you so wish. That pumps out lovely cold air. All the switch gear, as I said before, has a wonderful quality of actuation to it. It just feels beautifully engineered. Heated seats again, working exactly as intended as well. And then you've got your dash binnacle in front, which is again your classic Honda affair, simple, easy, legible, beautifully presented, and this lovely small diameter leather bound steering wheel, which you can't see any wear in it at all. It really is a fabulous car, I have to say. It's so easy to see why they are so sought after second hand, because it's just a lovely car to operate and drive. This is a four-wheel drive version of the car. Having said that, it's one that operates completely automatically, so basically it goes pretty much the whole time in front wheel drive only, which is the most efficient way to pull a car along. As and when it needs to go into four-wheel drive, it'll do so. It senses the front wheels losing grip, let's say sort of mud, snow, ice, something like that, and instantly brings in the four-wheel drive seamlessly to give you a four-wheel drive. It's just brilliant, and its lack of use is a major benefit, because it basically means you're not going to get through your tyres as quickly or use as much fuel, and it puts far less mechanical stress to the vehicle, because ultimately this system is incredibly reliable, probably through its lack of use, in all honesty. As I said at the start of the video, the point is just to bring up any obvious issues that show up as soon as you drive the car. It's nothing at all. It drives ludicrously well, but they always do. As I said at the start of the video, it's only brief, just to show the car operating. If you've got any further questions about the car, as always, don't hesitate, do give us a call.